welcome back to Arise 360. I'm your host, Kachi Ofia. All right, now, there is never, ever a dull day in the music industry. Trust me, there's always so much drama going on there. And you see, to keep up with all the headline-grabbing stories, how about we check out some music news? So, singer Chris Brown and 2 other people are in custody in Paris after a woman filed a rape complaint. So police officials say Brown was detained on Monday and remains in custody while police study the complaint. One of the others detained is Brown's bodyguard. Now, the singer's publicist at Sony Music would not immediately comment, but Brown has been in repeated legal trouble since pleading guilty to the felony assault in 2009 of his then-girlfriend, Rihanna. Well, he completed his probation in that case in 2015. And, we're just keeping our fingers crossed as to, what the real situation in this is. And now let's go over to something that's even more annoying. So Bebe Rexha says some designers will not dress her for the Grammys because she's a size 8. The Best New Artist and Best Country Duo Pop Group Performance nominee took to Instagram to call out some designers that are unwilling to dress her for this year's ceremony because she's too big.
So I finally get nominated at the Grammys, and it's like the coolest thing ever. And a lot of times artists will go and talk to designers and they'll make them custom dresses to walk the red carpet, right? Like you go to any big designer. So I had my team hit out a lot of designers, and a lot of them do not want to dress me because I'm too big. Literally, I'm too big. And if a size 6'8" is too big, then I don't know what to tell you. Then I don't want to wear your dresses, because that's crazy. Because you're saying that all the women in the world that are size 8 and up are not beautiful and they cannot wear your dresses. So all the people that said that I'm thick and I can't wear dresses, you, I don't want to wear your dresses.
I think size 8, literally, are they trying to kill somebody? Well, away from that now, Ariana Grande has actually apologized for offending people with her new song, 7 Rings. Now, in an Instagram post referring to her lyrics about her hair, the God is a Woman singer said, "White women talking about their weaves is how we're going to solve racism." Now, this post was later deleted from her page. However, that could not save it from being screenshotted and shared in other pages. And in response, Ariana claimed she was aiming to dissociate the negative stereotype that was attached to the word weave. Nevertheless, away from the negativity, Ariana Grande is on course for her 4th UK #1 with the track, despite only releasing it on Friday. You see, there is no such thing as bad publicity. Meanwhile, Ariana Grande's new album, believed to share the title of her hit single, Thank You Next, will likely be released before Valentine's Day. And this is according to a Q&A session the artist held on her Twitter page yesterday. So the album might just be here as soon as February 8th, and it's fully Ariana Grande and no features. So we're really excited about that. What's so wrong with her saying, well, are you really tired of seeing some artists on Spotify? I really had to ask because we really care about you on Arise 360. Well, now you can breathe, because Spotify is set to introduce a mute and block feature which will allow you to stay clear of all the artists you don't want to see anymore. So the feature is available to toggle on and off in the menu bar of each artist's page. Once an artist is blocked, Spotify will prevent songs by that artist from being played, even though they might remain listed in any playlist. Now, back in 2017, the music streaming app had considered adding this option, but after serious consideration, backtracked. With the rising calls for the removal of R. Kelly's songs from the streaming network due to the Surviving R. Kelly docu-series, which showed his alleged sexual victims talk about child sex and sex calls, Spotify gave in and his songs were removed from their playlists, but not from their service. So, I think that's a win-win situation for Spotify. Doesn't stop them from making their money. It's now up in your court. You can decide to listen or not to listen. Now, you see, we love ABBA. We definitely think they're amazing. But you see, we're about to get a little bit heartbroken because ABBA fans will now have to wait a little bit longer for the group's first new music in 35 years, with the release now scheduled for the second half of 2019. So a representative for the group explained that there will be no release before the summer, and hopefully the release comes out this fall. Well, ABBA fans rejoiced last April when the group, which split up about 35 years ago, announced that they had recorded 2 new songs for a virtual ABBA experience in collaboration with American Idol creator Simon Fuller. Well, the project first announced in 2016 and was scheduled to premiere via digital versions of brand members on NBC and ABC at the end of last year. However, in September, the group announced the project was delayed until 2019. And recent news speculates that the songs titled I Still Have Faith in You and Don't Shut Me Down may be delayed until autumn. Now let's talk about Lauryn Hill. So Lauryn Hill has announced 2 big outdoor summer shows in the UK. So the musician and former Fugees member recently completed a European arena tour in celebration of the 20th anniversary of the release of her classic debut album, The Miseducation of Lauryn Hill. Now, Hill will return to these shores in June and July for more live shows, where she'll headline the Nocturne live concert series in Blenheim Palace in Oxfordshire and East Sussex on July 7th. Lauren Vuller and BBC Sound of 2019 and Brits Critics' Choice nominee Mahalia will support Hill for the Blenheim Palace show. The gigs will see Hill perform a career-spanning set with a press release promising that the artist will play tracks from her multi-Grammy award-winning solo album, classic Fugees songs, and new material. The timing of the 2 shows will also further fuel speculation that Hill will perform at Glastonbury this year. Well, it's not confirmed, but then we still have our fingers really crossed. Well, it's on to the more sophisticated side of things now, because we're about to show you what's been popping and grabbing everyone's attention over the last 24 hours in the world of arts and culture. So, the musical adaptation of School of Rock has ended its run on Broadway. The Andrew Lloyd Webber musical, which was adapted from the 2003 film, closed on January 20th after more than 1,300 performances. The production, which began in December 2015, was nominated for 4 2016 Tony Awards, including Best Musical and Best Score. But you see, fans who didn't get to see the musical on Broadway can catch it in London or in Sydney when it opens later this year, as well as across Asia. And the British Museum is now taking on a new role as international watchdog of the trade of Egyptian and Nubian artifacts. So the museum is employing a team of curators solely dedicated to spotting looted ancient treasure, a move that will have far-reaching implications for collectors, dealers, and other museums. The team of experts basically will monitor the trade in antiques from Egypt and Sudan, and then will report to law enforcement agencies, including Scotland Yard and US Customs, if there is evidence of theft. Wow. Well, American Son is also moving away from somewhere to somewhere. We're talking about from Broadway to Netflix. So instead of tapping one of the final performances when it wraps its Broadway run on the 27th, Netflix will reassemble the cast, director, and producers, and of course tape this amazing production without an audience present. So the play centers on interracial parents who reunite in a Florida police station to search for answers about their missing teenage son. Kerry Washington will reprise her role as the teenage boy's mother, as well as most of the cast. So American Son is the latest Broadway effort to land on Netflix. The streamer also recorded Bruce Springsteen's Tony-winning Springsteen on Broadway. Now, you see, here on Arise 360, we love, it's kind of crazy, but we really love to talk fashion. And Italian designer Giambattista Valli has lots and lots of gorgeous pieces on display at his latest presentation in Paris. So the collection was all about glamour, including body-hogging cocktail dresses, evening gowns, and spectacular ball gowns with dramatic trains. Basic black was also on display, but so was color, such as bubblegum pink, blood red, and fuchsia. Now, Valley says he conceived of his latest haute couture collection as an ode to the history of couture in France.
I wanted to go back on why I came here. So it's really I wanted to do the most proper haute couture collection. The most proper haute couture collection that belongs to France, it's something cultural that belongs to France. It's a patrimoine that it belongs to France. And it's something that I wanted to support and to show what it's a proper haute couture.
All right, now let's head over to another quick break now. When we return, I'll be chatting with my guest of the day, director Dario Leighton. Stick around.